Hello and welcome to my first video. We're going to be watching a War Selection gameplay replay, and in this gameplay I'm going to be showing you this new strategy that me and my mates have started doing. It's a very quick rush, and so I'll show you how this goes and how we continue in the game. So first you get your hut built, and the moment that you do this you get your fight pit up and running. At this point all of my mates should be doing the same. A little bit slower there. So Hammer is doing a different strategy. He's going to be trying to get a constant flow of workers out and incorporate this rush. It doesn't happen quite as quickly, but that's fine. So once you build your fight pit, the first thing you want to do is get your leather shoes upgrade and queue up 10 warriors. The goal of this is that you have 10 warriors trained before or at 4 minutes into game. So we've got 3 minutes left to do that. Should be able to. In the meantime, you're sending your scout out, hoping to find the first enemy base. And in the meantime, you're sending the first 5 workers that you train onto food. So you get 10 workers that are gathering food, and then you switch from there to wood. In the meantime, of course, you're building houses. And yeah, that's basically the beginning strategy in a nutshell. Until we find our first opponent. So in the meantime, I'll quickly show you my friends Hammer, Sir Rantalot and Ella Cry are on my team. We're all pre-made together. And down to the south we have a couple of randoms. Rezaj, Reja and Double Dot. There wasn't much action going on down in the south, but that's also because we were definitely getting the enemy's focus up in the north. He should be moving. So I will quickly say that I was rather tired whilst playing this match. It was late in the evening and I've been working all day, so there were a couple of things that I really should have done that I didn't do, but I can point that out during this commentary and still highlight this new strategy because it really works so well. As you can see, I've got 4 up and running so far and it's 2:45 in, so we're doing pretty good. Now the whole base of the strategy is that you're a team. This doesn't work if you're doing solo, if you're going solo. Because if you got 10 warriors, it isn't that much of a force, but combine it with 4 other players and you've got 40 warriors in a very early time frame. So over here I found this first guy's workers, Plob. So I'm guessing that his base is around here, and then I saw the berries in the background over there. So I sent my scout up to check that out. If you got fish, of course, you go ahead and grab those. He probably came down here soon enough to pick up those as well. Alright, so we go over here. I was wondering whether he'd built his temple yet. And I didn't find any, but I knew that this was where the first player was, so with the warrior rush already almost finished, we were getting ready to attack. I told my mates to send the warriors up. And Hammer, I wonder how many he did get. I'll quickly switch. Because he has more workers. He has 33 workers and 6 warriors. I'll quickly compare this over here to 28 workers and 10 warriors. So his economy is definitely better off his way. But I've just got a few extra warriors and we really should be doing this a little bit faster. After this game we decided that we would send the troops that are trained up to the front immediately. So they're not just gathering in the base and then walking. But still, we've still got our warriors at a fairly early point in the game, 5 minutes. I've been looking at these other stone rush strategies, the warriors rush strategy, and usually you're producing your warriors about 7 minutes in game. So an attack like this should take out even the stone rush players. Until everyone starts doing this, this is then going to be really messed up. So there's all the troops coming up there. Whose scout is that? It's Hammer. In the meantime, still getting the temple up and running. Still want that upgrade. Of course, I did get a warehouse here eventually for the berries in the wood. And yeah, at this point, we've all gathered up and we all start marching off to the left. In the meantime, my scouts had found the second base, so we knew where we were going to continue marching. And just to compare, we can look down here, and this is a typical strat that I see. You get your fight pit and your stone cutter, and you start getting upgrades. But we didn't do any of that. Maybe we will get the upgrades, but yeah, we're still oh, there's another enemy scout. We're still perfecting this strategy. It's very fresh. But we've had a lot of success. So we're moving in almost 7 minutes in now. So at this point, if you were a Stone Age Rush player, you would probably have a force of, I don't know, 10 or maybe 20 warriors up and running. So I don't think that you would be able to hold. I think that your economy would still be shredded, but I think that if you had other players, they would be able to come up and save you and you wouldn't die. But that isn't the case over here. This poor guy is by himself. He hasn't got himself any troops up and running, and we are just swarming him with our army. It's only 10 per person, but altogether it's just a massive swarm. That's what this is all about. It's about getting the team play. And in the meantime, we've already upgraded to the Bronze Age, so we're getting ready to continue moving. Now what I should have done right now, I had the resources, was get some barracks up and running. I could have also built another 2 fight pits so I could keep producing, but I wasn't concentrating as much as I should have. Still, we take him out pretty soon. Let's see. Look, he's not ready yet. He has. He's getting his farm. And he's almost there as well. Some worries in the base. I'm sure they're about to be coming. Ah, right, they were chasing the stupid scout. That's why they all started running off like that. Yeah, he did a good job trying to hold this guy Flob. He was repairing, building up his bulwarks and training the entire time, but just was not enough. And by using the color to see which land is owned, we knew that there was no one else up here, so we started moving down. Yeah, in the meantime, he's got his farm up and running. He's probably looking really good resource-wise. Actually, not even. We're pretty much the same. And we both went Europe. It's not like I went Asia for the cheap upgrade. But at this point, I'm really quite sloppy. I should have been getting another warehouse instantly. This is way too great a distance for my workers to be walking. But instead what I did was I upgraded my warriors, and so did the rest of them, into spearmen, most of them European spearmen. And we saw this purple guy's temple over there, so we were pretty certain we were about to get our next one. I'm hoping I upgraded them to get another warehouse closer in. And I'm getting the upgrades right now. So we start walking down and we see the temple is gone. So we actually forced him away from here. And as we found out later, he had moved it down there to build a wall there and just defend the land pass. So that was also good. We slowed him down. And then we start attacking over here. And we definitely could have played this a whole lot better. For some reason he used his houses to block off from the south where all of his allies were, and not over here from the north where we were. But at this point we should have just gone straight for his workers and the towers. We had enough spearmen, we would have been able to deal with them. But instead we tried taking out the Otis house, and well, you'll be able to see how that turns out. Hammer does go for the workers though, which was really good. Means we did get a lot of their economy. But I mean, already we've done what we wanted to do. We had our first rush here. Right now, what I am quite aware that we need to do is get our barracks up and running far sooner and get a defense force, because if there is a player that gets a proper rush, a Stone Age rush ready, then we're going to be counter rushed pretty hard. To be fair, we did get this to Half-Life. It wasn't so bad, but then he came along with his workers. Most of them died, but he was able to save it. And then he just sent the rest up in the tower. So yeah, we definitely could have played that better, but we got a lot of his eco, so happy with that. So yeah, in the meantime, I've got so many resources. I definitely should have my barracks up and running. I should have a line of barracks, 5 of them, producing either spearmen or archers, or a mixture of the two. Probably a mixture would be better, because a lot of players rush light knights, and the archers are a great way to fight against that. Finally finish upgrading the rest of my workers. I was considering getting a medieval rush. This is why I was taking my time and not spending all of my wood. But it definitely was not the right call being at the front. If I was backline, I might have been able to consider that. Still, we're now 30 minutes in game and there hasn't been much action to the south or to the north, except for what we did there. So we're kind of a little bit lazy, I would even say. Hammer's getting to the sea, which you should as well. Which is another thing I could have done. It would have been so easy to come down here and build up here, get some fish coming in, but I didn't do that either. What I was looking at was building a wall over here. I was looking at the land pass. And I just wanted to get a wall so that we were safe from the typical light night rush. So I got a couple of spearmen trained just to take out the wild beasts, and a couple of workers on the way. There we go. Got a bit of a stuffed nose and a sore throat, but I hope that it isn't all that noticeable. So I am upgrading, but once again I could be rushed so easily here. I should have just gotten my barracks and another force up and running. I have the resources, I just was lazy. Any good player would have punished me for this. Down here everything's just quiet. Like a player like this would still be swarmed by an early rush, which is also why I enjoy doing the early rush. At first I felt bad, but now I just want to get the boring matches out of the way. If it's gonna be a stomp, then I don't want to be spending an entire hour in that game getting to industrial age just to stomp over the players. If anything, I prefer a quick rush. If they're responding, then you know it's going to be a good game, and if they all crumble, then you can get the game over as soon as possible and just start a new one. So Hammer, yeah, he did the smart thing. He got some barracks up and running. And he's already producing some more troops, which I really wish I had done. But I'll do that in my next video for sure. The whole point of this was just to showcase the instant fight pit rush. Just get that fight pit, the speed upgrade, and then get your warriors. And then as a team you move out and you get a really early attack off. The rest of the game is a little bit more boring. So we saw the Light Knights coming up at this point, which is pretty scary, not gonna lie. Hammer starts sending up his troops, the others start training some troops. Same for Eloquai down there. And I'm just now starting to get some towers built, but I don't want my workers that are mining metal to build at. I want to be able to finish my upgrade to medieval, because that's probably going to save me. If the Light Knights were able to surround my Elder's house whilst still in the Iron Age, they would be able to take it down, even if I had workers repairing it. So yeah, I now start building towers everywhere. And he marches on in. Starts taking out quite a lot of my workers. And then I start building a wall just there. My upgrade finishes, which I'm very happy about. But in retrospect, this could have turned out really bad. If I had barracks and troops, it would have been very different. But by getting towers up and running, what I'm actually doing is prompting this guy Imberpig, what a name, I'm prompting him to continue further down south. And if he had done such, then he would have gone off to Hammer, who still has the Iron Age Elder's house, and he would have been able to destroy that. So this definitely wasn't the best response. We're lucky that he didn't do the smart thing, which is just continue. Instead he tries to fight and he does a very uncoordinated attack. So the workers and the archers here from Hammer, along with the towers, just start shooting away, and yeah, just doesn't stand a chance actually. He should have just continued. He already got quite a lot of my workers in the time that I was building here. So he definitely could have then continued, even if he didn't get the Elder's house. He could have come down here, destroyed houses, barracks. He could have continued down here further south. So yeah, take the favorable fights. And as a teammate, don't just wall up or put towers in your base, because if anything it just prompts them to continue forwards. Try to actually deal with the threat. And the best way to do that is, yeah, get your barracks up and running, have troops. Archers are great against light knights, because they can all attack. Spearmen can't at the same time. Take them out and kite them. So yeah, that was that. We survived the attack. And I still have my workers over here, so I continued building the wall. Getting my workers back to the thing. Back to work. Once again, I definitely should have come down here. Got my docks up and running. But I didn't. In the meantime, Lord Rantalot is now sending the troops that he trained over, which turned out to be very useful. Excuse me. Alright. So after that attack, I definitely should have gotten myself some forts up and running. But once again, I just didn't. I didn't have that many resources. My economy was pretty far gone. So instead, I just wanted to build the wall first and get some more resources. That was my goal. I knew that my mates were training troops and sending them to the front, so I wasn't so scared. And I was just trying to finish off the wall. Of course, trying to get the upgrades also in my base. Want that farm upgrade, the warehouses as well. And just training a whole lot more workers after this PopCap upgrade. Get my economy back up and running. I probably should have sent some more workers up. This wasn't enough. Could have sent a couple more. And once again, down here everything's just really quiet. No action at all, which is good for us. Means that we're making a lot of noise at the top. And sure enough, here comes another 2 players' armies. So I pull back my workers and my spearmen. So does Elecry. And we group up with Lord Rantalot and Hammer. Yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward this. Basically, we retreat. And then they actually end up sitting here for a while. Which is very nice of them. It gives us the time to regroup, train some more troops. Once again, I've got real food problems, so the fish would have saved me there. And I have more than enough wood to get myself some forts up and running. So I'm just going to keep battering myself for that. I can't believe that I didn't do it whilst watching the replays, something that I basically always do, but I really was just being very lazy. But I wasn't concerned. I mean, I knew that Elecry was going to go for the industrial rush, just like Lord Rantalot. And Hammer's also a really solid player, so I wasn't feeling scared at the front. If anything, I was just training all the workers. Just getting round after round of new wood workers mainly. And just in case you didn't know, the reason why I get workers on wood is because they have a production speed of 1.4. They gather the wood a whole lot quicker. Whereas if you're at, oh look, if you're here at a stone mine, I'll have to switch. Then you can see production is 1.1, so it's slower, but you don't have to walk as far. So if you're getting the wood from the forest, just make sure that you get warehouses really close by to try to mitigate that difference. And then eventually what I like to do is, in the industrial age, I'll get some universities, mass produce a whole lot of workers to work on the stone deposits, because that's the easiest way to get them working. So we start coming back down here to the front. I missed it just before, but one of the players was blind and sent his entire army just to walk down this path where they all died. Right there's the bodies. So yeah, we weren't fighting against good players, which is a shame, but it did give us a good first game to showcase this new strategy, and I'm looking forward to using it against good players. Just need to wake up myself whilst doing it. So yeah, start taking out the houses. Anything to hurt this guy. So in the meantime here, whilst we're finally completing the wall, Hammer is down here with siege ships. Although he's about to be attacked by a huge amount of galleys. But just getting galleys was definitely this guy's mistake. You really want to get a mix of the two. If not just siege ships, they're so good. So yeah, that's that. After that, it's a little bit boring, so I'll just fast forward that. Got miners going on there. Keep attacking at sea. He starts pushing out Hammer's siege ships, because he does have a lot of galleys, and he's got more on the way, but at this point, Hammer and Lord Rantalot and Elochrai are also both aware of the threat from the sea, so they're starting to produce their own ships as well. And I get my workers to finish plugging up this little gap in the wall. And I get my own pikemen to start marching down here, and I find that this guy also has got a little hole through the trees. He of course notices he's got a bit of a problem there. The entire time I was expecting another assault of light knights, which is also why I got the wall. This bug is so annoying here when the deer run through the wall and then there's just a little gap like this. It's ridiculous. The devs need to fix that. Yeah, the poor guy still got Bronze Age troops. We did a real number on his eco. And now the rest of my mates come in. He's actually got light knights. Yeah, right, so he's medieval. Exactly. He did hit medieval. He got himself a force of light knights, but longbowmen are gonna shred through that. Which is exactly what happened. And after building that, I send my workers down here as well. Up down here. Right, so he sent his light knights down here. Instead of to us at the top. Where these players, they're just not playing as a team at all. You know, walling off your own base is such an asshole move in my opinion. When you're playing in a team game and you just wall off your own base. Like, no, instead you should be going down here and blocking off every single pass that you can so that the knights can't get through. You know, if everyone does a little bit of walling off at the front, it's going to cost a whole lot less resources than trying to block off your entire base. And in the end, you're doing everyone a favor. You're doing us a favor by blocking off this whole area here. You're doing your teammates a favor by blocking it off. You're doing yourself a favor by saving resources. And this isn't a solo game, it's a team game. Anyways, so we start crashing through here. I get a couple of Guardian Towers just set up so that we can keep moving on. And then eventually I get some siege workshops set up as well. Oh, excuse me, I'm not feeling so healthy today. Everyone's going to be saying Corona. Not Corona. It's just cold. There we go. Fortunately, I have my tea. That helps a lot. So, anyways, back to the front. Destroy everything. He's just got no assistance whatsoever from his teammates, which is a real shame. Over here at the sea, he pushed through quite far with his galleys, but because he didn't have any siege ships, he wasn't really able to destroy anything, any of the docks or any other buildings. And at this point, Eloquai has now got some bombardier ships. So things are looking really good on our end. We have the wall finished off, so we're not scared of anything really pushing through there. Except for maybe a whole force of industrial tanks, but as said, our allies, yeah, he just did Germany himself, he's getting ready. He hasn't hit it yet, but he does also soon enough. Well, for myself, I'm still just training workers, trying to get the resources back. But in the meantime, I set up my siege workshops and I start producing onagers, preparing for a push down to the south. But I was kind of blind when I did this, because if I had actually looked, I would have seen that there was a whole bunch of trees here. So I should have scouted down here first to see if it was possible to walk through with my onagers, which are big, fat and bulky. Still, definitely what you should have at the front along with your troops is a bunch of workers. Of course, it would have been good if I actually had an army, but instead of training these siege workshops, I could have been getting myself barracks instead. I was destroying that anyways. Oh. Yep, they just went straight up the coast and blew him up. The bombardier ships and the siege ships. You gotta be careful when you're playing near water if you can get away from the sea, from the range of these bombardier ships. And if you can't get that far inland, then you've just got to focus everything on the water. So what else are these guys doing? Looks like they... Yeah, there's the last of the Light Knights. So they got rid of them finally. With Stone Age slingers, oh my gosh. But hey, if it works, you know, this is the thing, Stone Age slingers is still the same tactic. They're range units. Range units just in general are really good against these knights or legionnaires. You know, they're so strong in melee, so you just don't want to go in melee. So cool, they dealt with that. Not really doing anything else down here, but at least they didn't die from that one assault. And at this point I noticed that I couldn't get through, and I just deleted everything there. was annoyed at myself and at the map. And instead I decided to send my workers down here after the tree line and create some more siege workshops right here. Getting ready to attack this player. But we did see this, and that indicates industrial buildings. So we were quite aware that we had to attack him soon, or we will be fighting against industrial units. And yeah, there they are. He has a force of rangers which he sends up. And rangers are definitely not the unit that you want to be training at this point. I would be getting soldiers because they're so much cheaper. Could probably see, unless he has no wood, this was the wrong call. And as it is, he actually has way too little metal to be producing these rangers. If he's producing soldiers, he's using the wood that he has. So he should definitely have been getting soldiers instead. And just in general, Germany is such a tough faction to choose in this position. They're so expensive to upgrade in the industrial age that I would definitely not recommend it. I would have gone for France or for England with the light machine gunners. Just especially because the buildings are so much cheaper to upgrade. So he still has a couple of units, not many, but it's enough to hold these guys back. And yeah, that's building off the workshops now. In the meantime, they've got their ships moving about, taking control of the sea. And I think, yeah, I'm also upgrading, but at this point, I'm upgrading to the late medieval ages. But I have lots of workers now. I have 85, so I've got all the resources pouring in, getting ready to upgrade. And it's when you have this amount of wood that you can consider upgrading to Germany. You just have to think the houses alone are costing you 16,000. And of course you need resources to build factories and barracks and so on. Yeah, I decided to build some barracks up here. I was sick and tired of not having any barracks. Could have done this ages ago, but it is what it is. At this point, all of my my allied units have been killed by the rangers, or just from walking in there into the turrets, but that's fine. I'm gonna be training my own troops and just doing my own land assault in the medieval age. And yeah, at this point there really isn't much that's going on. Just fast forward a bit till I start getting my siege units up and running. He really should have been getting soldiers at this point. He should have stopped the ranger production. Should have used all of that metal to get himself a big birder. Even just one would be a big win for him. Take out the tower, and the factories and so on. Could have even done that with soldiers. It's the amount of resources that he loses. There we go. The amount of resources that he loses from these trades is, you know, it's huge. He's losing 100 metal. Ah, now he's got soldiers. There we go. Yeah, that's the right call. This is a whole lot better. It's not losing close to as much now. at least metal wise. But it doesn't really help them that much, because my ally now comes up from the sea here with his bombardier ships and starts blowing them to pieces. I've just got more onagers being trained. I think now I also start getting cannons. Yeah, I start getting cannons now at this point. And yeah, now this guy rage quits. So that's basically that. I mean, it's not like he had any resources to turn this around anyways. Let's go back. Yeah, he's just out of everything. To be fair, they've now stopped collecting as well, but he's got no resources. Germany is just really expensive. I wonder what that is. So yeah, I'm not gonna go through the rest because now, after they've all quit, there's no reason to. There's just like this player left. I actually remember this player. We played with him in the first match where we did this Stone Age rush just the other day. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. It was quite an easy match. If the players had been better, we would have had a problem, but well, most importantly, I would have had a problem. Not getting any barracks was a really stupid move, but we still got him. I had my allies to support. They also took out the navy over here, which was great. And in the end, I did push down here with my medieval units, which he didn't have the resources to defend from, so he would have gone down as well. If his allies had been doing work, they could have changed the game. Maybe they could have gone on the Wonder and defended, but they didn't. And yeah, we won. I'll be doing this strategy in the future, trying to figure out what the best possible method is. But I really enjoy just the basic concept of getting a barracks up in the very beginning, getting your warriors, and then as a team moving your large bulk in at a very early point. I mean, we attacked 7 minutes in, I think it was. We did our first attack. So yeah, let me know what you think of the strategy. So leave a comment for that, and like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. This is my first video, but I'll definitely be uploading more as we work on the strategy and just in general as we play as a team. So yeah, thanks for watching.